Welcome to Scrapple TV.
So right now we're here in residence at this old colonial house in downtown Bogota. The first part was Conquistador, about the Colombian doorman. If you look at the Americas, it's about the Spanish coming over and the results. Part 2 was Flamingo Winnebago, about North America, peak oil, the little Indian guy in the gas station who's actually from India, not native, going across the United States, and it was about nuclear explosions in Las Vegas. Part 3 is the melting bridge.
And this is about indigenous America. So about America, but America as a continent. It all started because we both didn't like that Americans living in the United States call themselves Americans when America is a lot of things and people and ideas.
Where it is now is we just finished being in, coming back from Colombia where we were working with the composer. So we did a workshop in Denver, but just added all this new music, that's original music, very cinematic music that's been added to the show. That's still being created. Juan Gabriel Turbay is the composer, and so we're getting ready to do final rehearsals with him, mainly working with the new score and some new secret ideas we're throwing in the last minute. That's where we're at now.
It's really interesting, all these things that have come together, because in looking at our past, we've actually ended up, of course, looking at our present and our future.
It's definitely been the most challenging, and where we really had to find a show from nothing. Yeah, and the idea was to make a theater series of shows that stretch the whole continent. And so, you know, Conquistador was kind of easier to make because we found this idea of the doorman, and then Flamingo Winnebago was about North America and, you know, Winnebagos and the Flamingo Hotel. And then this one was just about indigenous America, and that was the starting point, which is the most ridiculously large and difficult place to start making a theater show. When you look at indigenous cultures, you find, I mean, it's a generalization, but two distinct patterns. The first is, you know, a lot of cultures that still live very in contact with nature, like the Acoma people who live in New Mexico, or certain tribes in the Amazon and Brazil that still live and make everything with the natural materials around them. They don't use artificial light, you know, they go to bed with the sun setting. And it's a very sustainable way of life, which is very important globally now, this idea of sustainability. And the other version is like the Mayan civilization, which they completely screwed up their entire environment and had a huge drought, and then they fought against each other, and everyone basically died. And so an environmental disaster brought on the collapse of their civilization. So in a way, this show's about human civilizations and how they are formed and how they're dangerous to some extent and how they can get collapsed. That's the epic picture.
And this is really the story of a father and a son, but the father kind of represents the past and the son the present. And it's just a look at where we're going and the responsibilities we have.
It's more of a weird experience than a typical Lucidity Suitcase Intercontinental show that's kind of very crazy and has a lot of funny moments. This one's a little darker and a little slower, and in terms of the way it's paced, it's only an hour and 10 minutes, but what that does is really allows the audience's own imagination to kind of put a lot of things into it as well, and think about a lot of things, because there's some lessons in there, and like history lessons and ideas of these cultures, and you know, this kind of sense that this entire country of the United States is built on top of something that was already here that we kind of just totally took not that long ago. And I think it's very important to like think about that and what that means for me.
Yeah, it's still entertaining, of course, but it's very evocative, and I think, if anything, I mean, people of all ages can see it and they're going to be entertained, and visually it's very beautiful. But if anything, it's going to make you think, and there's an air of mystery to it that I'm really interested in, and that is I really like personally.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know.
Yes, you should buy tickets. And what's interesting about making it so evocative is you need to see it 3, 4, 5 times, again and again and again. It
until
takes
you
you
get it.
deeper down the river,
We're
deeper.
really deep
Um,
people.
yeah.